What's going on, guys? It's Zach back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I stay motivated. Now, I'm not going to be talking about necessarily what motivates me because I really think that's different for every single person. What motivates you is going to be a lot different than what motivates me, and what motivates you might not really resonate with me. Now, personally, I'm not going to say that I really find any source of motivation to be weird or stupid or wrong because there's just no reason for me to imprint my values onto you, right? When people are motivated by things like sex or by money or by power, I don't necessarily think that it's my place to say that's wrong, like you shouldn't be motivated by those things. I think that's not going to motivate me, and so it's not going to be very effective for me. But if that's what gets you out of bed and if that's what really drives you to continue taking action every single day, who am I to say that's wrong? So that's a philosophical debate for another day, but in this video I'm just going to be talking about what really keeps me on the grind, because for those of you that follow me on social media, for those of you that know what I'm about, I'm very dedicated to fitness, I'm very dedicated to my business, I'm also a tremendously loyal friend, and so I have a lot of areas of life that I need to keep my energy up and I need to keep myself moving and productive for. So in this video, I figured I have a sort of unique perspective as somebody that is as young as I am, but have done the sorts of things in business and in fitness and whatever else that I have done, and so I think that my perspective and my philosophy might be really beneficial for you. Now, this idea is sort of a stepping stone in my personal coaching programs, and so if you're interested in a bigger picture look of how you can incorporate these kinds of philosophies and practices into your day-to-day life to reach higher and higher levels of success, hit me up, let's talk, and I can be your one-on-one coach, and we can make sure that you make tremendous progress in whatever area of life that you are looking to make progress in. Now, that all said, there are links below, but in this video I figured it would be helpful to give you that first stepping stone regardless. And so when a lot of people talk about motivation, I think people are looking for this external factor that is going to light their fire and really make them drive forward. Now, here's the thing, you guys, you've probably heard this concept a million and one times, and it's really this, that motivation is a one-off thing, right? If you find a video on YouTube or you come across some kind of article that really lights you up and makes you feel really passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, that's going to be something that is very short-lived. That's more like a match, and what we're looking for is a way to light a candle, right? And so what I'm talking about here is really discipline, and there's a great quote from the book The War of Art by Steven Pressfield that goes something along the lines of, I feel very empowered by my motivation. I'm so glad that it shows up every morning at 9 a.m. when I sit down to write. Now, the point of this quote is really that the author in question, I can't remember the person unfortunately at this point, but who that author is talking about that they don't necessarily feel motivated all the time, right? I don't really feel motivated all the time. In fact, I'm making this video on a day where I feel very low level of motivation simply because I didn't get a lot of sleep, my energy is very low, and so it would be a lot easier for me to just conk out, not make this video, not talk to my clients, kind of push everything back, and I could do that, but in the long run, you know, how many days in a row can I go doing things like that, right? And let's be honest, in life, there are usually a lot of low energy days. There's plenty of circumstances, events that happen that lower our energy and make us feel like we are not able to push forth for those better days, right? And so what we really want to realize is that the more that we can stay disciplined, the more that we can stay focused on a small number of regular, consistent actions that will lead us to our goals, right? We will succeed. It doesn't have to be always from a place of high energy motivation. You should have as much of that as you can, but don't think that just because you're a person that doesn't feel this crazy amount of fire inside all the time, you're not going to reach success, right? Because success in any area of life, like I just said, comes down to continuously doing a small number of actions on a regular, consistent basis. Building a business, right, is really comes down to three things. Number one, effective marketing. Number two, effective sales. And number three, delivering a great product or service. And all you have to do is figure out what are the consistent actions that are going to get you to that place. I could kind of build you a example business in 2 seconds here, right? So effective marketing, you might just put out regular content on Instagram every day. Effective sales, you might just get people on the phone and show them the value of what it is that you have every day. Delivering a product or service, you might have 1 hour where you simply map out, let's say, you practice tarot card readings. It could be something totally, random. It doesn't have to be something crazy big, but just doing those things every single day and mapping out when you're going to do them and doing them every day, you will get results guaranteed. And so In this video, I just wanted to talk to you about that concept of discipline and making sure that when you are looking for this motivation, you're not constantly looking for extrinsic sources, because we are the power. And if we can look within ourselves and create this power from within, that's where success is going to come from. So I want to give you 3 tips and 3 actionable strategies that you can leverage right now to start making more success in cultivating discipline and cultivating long-term motivation, longevity of motivation, right? So number 1, routines. Originally, I just said a morning routine, but I think that if we can understand that the more that we're able to consistently focus on raising our energy, consistently focus on things like our visions, like our desired goals and skills that we want to cultivate, we're much more likely to start to raise our energy on a consistent basis. So a morning routine could be anything from just starting out by drinking some water, using the bathroom, doing some yoga and setting your intentions. It could be a whole 1 hour of vision boards, meditating, affirmations, all of these things. But the bottom line is, guys, that what we're doing when we do this stuff is we're taking a second to step away from reality. We're coming back from consciousness and not just jumping right into the news and drama on social media and comparing ourselves to other people. We're taking some time to say, hey, here's what I want out of this day. And so already we're starting off by cultivating our energy rather than spending our energy. If we can look at our energy as currency, we realize that we are constantly spending and receiving every single day, all day. And so what we want to do is really start the day out by really building up that energy and cultivating our energy and receiving energy from ourselves, right? Because what we should be is our number 1 supporter. We should be our best friend. And when we do that, we're far more likely to cultivate a long-term sense of motivation rather than looking for confirmation from the external world. So what I say to you is the first thing to consider is, what are your regular routines? And do you even have any kind of morning routine? Do you even have any kind of evening routine? And if you don't, well, it's time to sit down and map something out. And I do this with my clients one-on-one, but if you really think about it, you know what the things are that fuel you, what energizes you. And so sit down, map out maybe 2 or 3 things that you'd like to do in the morning, maybe 2 or 3 things that you'd like to do in the evening, and do those on a consistent basis. And the more that you do those, you're going to get that feedback from your subconscious mind that is telling you, hey, this is working, hey, this is not working, and make adjustments based on that. But all I'm saying is, guys, that take some time to be there for yourself, to do things deliberately for yourself without all of the external world's input that is trying to pull you in all these different directions, right? So that's number 1. Build routines, and that is going to help fuel discipline, which is going to help fuel long-term motivation. Number 2 is scheduling. So what I talked about is that author who said, I get my inspiration promptly every day at 9 a.m. when I sit down to write, right? Well, what he's saying is that he has time blocked out to do the things that he needs to do. And so if you want to become an excellent painter, for example, right? Just thinking about painting, just looking at other people's pictures of paintings is not going to make you an excellent painter. Just sitting down once a week and creating something that you're maybe happy with, maybe not so happy with, even if you're extremely happy with it, only doing it once a week at a random time is not going to give you that sense of security like I am getting better, right? So make sure that you have time scheduled every single day, just like a job, right? Just like eating, right? Any of these things that you know that you're going to be able to do next, you have consistency, and consistency breeds security. In this sense, we're talking about security of progress. We know that because we have this time blocked out, we're going to make progress, and it might be super incremental progress. It could be extremely slow. However, we know that we will make it because it is scheduled, it is determined, and it is something that we're going to put the time into. And so inevitably, we are going to move closer and closer to our goals. Beyond this, it comes into things like how effective is your self-talk? How effective are your actual practices when you sit down to do something? But the first step is really to schedule it out and make sure that you're putting in the time. All of the rest of that stuff can come, but what I'm talking to you right now about are very basic structures that you can use to generate this motivation that you're looking for. Number 3 is sort of a play off of number 2, which is effective time blocking. What I mean by this is looking at your schedule as something that is going to cultivate your energy for the long term. Like I've said like a million times in this video, right? But what I'm talking about here is really scheduling time in for rest. For somebody like me, I work pretty much from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. every single day. Now, a lot of people would look at my schedule and be like, that's insane. This guy's working way too hard. What's he doing? Well, I'm taking a lot of breaks, right? So I'm scheduling time to do work, but then I take, 20-minute breaks here, 30-minute breaks here, and 2-hour break here to, eat, just to listen to podcasts, whatever it is. And the reason that I schedule my day this way is that I'm not allowing myself to become overwhelmed. I'm living as I want to live, and I'm scheduling time to do little things that I want to do. I'll be working, but I'll then pick up my guitar and play guitar for a while. I'll be working, but then I'll flip on a podcast and stretch for a while, just to enjoy myself, just to let that pressure go and bring myself back to a place of balance where I know then I can get back into work as effectively as possible. Those of us that are into fitness understand that we need to take breaks in between our sets. What this allows us to do is come back to this place of balance, of effectiveness, that we can then go into the next set with the optimal level of energy. We don't want to just be continuously pushing and pushing and pushing to the point where we get completely burned out at the end of the workout, right? So what I'm talking to you about here is really incorporating time for rest, time for recovery, and that allows you to go back in with that optimal energy level so you can put 100% of your focus, or as much focus as you possibly can, into the task at hand. Finally, guys, this tip is just something I want to be reiterating in all my videos, which is that if you want to create anything in life, you need to have a strong intention. And so if you don't know what you intend to be motivated for, right? If you don't know what the results are that you want, you're not going to get very far. So have a very clear understanding of what it is that you want to create, and then you will much more likely get to that point, or at very least get that feedback data so that you can go back, recycle, and take more action and be a lot more successful in the next iteration of attempt. So these have just been a few tips on how you can stay motivated. Remember, guys, motivation is temporary, but discipline is forever. If you know what it is that you want to create a structure that will get you to that place. Create your own personalized roadmap, and you're far more likely to achieve success. Now, again, I know these concepts are kind of complex in a lot of ways, and I know that creating your own roadmap is something that is extremely personalized, and there is a lot of nuanced detail around that based on your life experience thus far. And so if you want some help with this, I do offer one-on-one coaching. The information is in the description below. But until then, I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this video. Like this video, share if you know anybody that would be interested, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell so you know my videos come out. And without further ado, you guys, have a great day. See you later.